Joining us on the line right now is Tim Pool. He is host of Timcast IRL, a CEO of Timcast.com, and host of the Culture War podcast. You can see that over at his YouTube channel. Tim, thanks for joining the show. Great to talk to you.
Thanks for having me.
So there are two big stories that you are currently involved in. One wasn't enough for you. One of them is, of course, the very widely covered story about a DOJ indictment involving apparently Tenet Media. Tenet Media, according to the allegations, was being paid effectively by a Russian front. And when I say the company was, what I really mean is the founders of the company apparently were, if the allegations in the indictment are true. And all the media ran with was that because you are a host whose show is posted at Tenet Media, that this must have implicated you or Dave Rubin or Benny Johnson. Why don't you give us sort of the rundown of what's going on here?
Yeah, the simple version is the Culture War podcast existed well before Tenet Media or any licensing agreement. We had the show. So I've got multiple YouTube channels. One is youtube.com/Timcast. That was my original channel where I used to host a 4 p.m., half an hour podcast. We switched formats because I have a couple channels. One was redundant. I have another one that's basically the same thing. They're kind of redundant. So we turned this one into a Friday morning live show about cultural issues. So it's
a better crossover than Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh my God.
Politics doesn't, come in relatively often, but we did one on dating. We did an episode on simulation theory versus Christianity and religion. So it's not an overtly political show. That show was licensed for principal broadcast, non-exclusive to Tenet Media. That's it. The show exists still to this day, and it will be at youtube.com/Timcast on Friday.
I think it's ridiculous that there's one of two options here. Either Tim Pool is the dumbest person on the planet, which, he kind of is. And he had no idea that, people wanted him to say anti-Ukraine, pro-Russia sentiment for $100,000 a week. Or he knew he's still the dumbest person on the planet, and he took the money knowing full well that he was getting paid by the Russian government. Doesn't really matter which is the answer. I think it's still the second one, because that also still factors in the reality he's the dumbest person on the planet. But ain't nobody's like, oh man, I wonder who's paying me to say pro-Russian, anti-Ukrainian $100,000 a week.
So with this story, we're hearing that these allegations, it's kind of crazy. I mean, Lauren Chen, I guess she's been fired from the Blaze. I don't know a lot about what's going on. In fact, I think I only talked to her a couple times this year. For me, it was we had an existing.
He's the real victim, by the way. He's just crying to his $400,000 a month payment that he got for being like, Ukraine is the #1 enemy of America. It's like, bro, come on, man. I'm pissed, dude. I'm pissed. I can't believe all I've gotten out of it is the Russian government calling me gay in a military recruitment ad and $0.00. Okay, it's bullshit. God damn it, Russia. You guys.
Show that a new show we had launched had been up for a few months. We hosted people like Vivek Ramaswamy on it, and we were preparing to engage in sponsorships, and they were getting hundreds of thousands of views per episode. And we decided,
for the record, and I'm being for real 100% honest with this, the American government has seized the assets of Russian oligarchs. They absolutely should take every dime that he's gotten from the Russian government. Every single dime, okay? They should be forcibly extracting this money from him, penny by penny, every penny accounted for, okay? However many thousands of dollars he got, hundreds of thousands of dollars, take that from him, okay? Even if you're not going to throw him in jail, that's blood money, right? That would be sick. And I think that would be cool, and they should do that, okay? They should take his beanie if he can't pay for it.
To license it out because Lauren contacted us and was saying, we'd love to license something from you. And I said, well, we don't need to do that. We're an independent company. We have our own members and sponsorships. And then it took quite a while, but long story short, we agreed to a non-exclusive broadcast license, which meant that we own the show. The show is owned by the culture.
Bro, what if they come after you for the China money? Oh God, I wish I got money from China. I don't even have a Genshin Impact ad, dude. What the are you talking about? Wukong didn't even work with me, and I've been playing it non-stop. It's so much fun.
Culture War company, which is its own company. We own distribution rights. We own audio distribution rights, everything about it. They just effectively paid for a license, which would have it appear on their YouTube channel Friday mornings at 10 a.m. And with that, they got to use my likeness and things like that. And so now with these allegations, I don't know what's going on there, but I don't know if you want to ask any questions so we can elaborate.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only questions that, given the media coverage, I think the question that people in the media are pushing, at least, is the idea that there must have been some sort of outside external Russian control of your show. Maybe you want to address how you do the editorial at your show. Was Lauren ever talking to you about the editorial content of the show or anything like that?
Nope. So I barely even talked to Lauren. And it's kind of crazy. I've known her for a long time. So when she said that she was launching a company, she had investors, I'm like, okay. I mean, I hear that 50 times a year. And in the podcast space, we just heard that I think Travis Kelce is getting a $100 million contract. So these numbers that's where they're at. I think people don't realize how.
Did you just compare yourself to Travis Kelce? Are you on, dude? Like, dog, your podcast gets like 20K views an episode on YouTube, man. What the are you talking about? Like, yeah, of course, there's a difference between Travis Kelce. It's like comparing yourself to Joe Rogan. You would never do that, right? You would never do that. That is insane, right? Because like the audience that Joe Rogan has is unironically much, much larger than your audience. Holy, oh my God. These guys are so delusional, dude. Like, oh my God. Oh. Yeah, he literally was talking about how like his band would be doing Taylor Swift numbers, you know, if it wasn't for woke.
How big the podcasting space is and the revenue that you generate from sponsorships and memberships. So it seemed kind of, I don't know, mundane to a certain extent. A lot of people think,
yo, get out of here. You're such a lying ass, bro. Okay? Absolutely not, dude. You got 10K views on that podcast. No. I have an actually successful podcast, okay? More successful than Tim Pool's podcast called Fear and. Some of you may know it. Some of you may not. We get 10 times the view count that this ass gets on our podcast, okay? If someone out of the blue hit us up to be like, we're going to give you $400,000 a month, okay? $100,000 a week, I'd be like, the f is going on? That's insane. That is insane. Okay, you're out of your goddamn mind. What is this? If you're serious about pushing a Russian narrative for $1, check DMs Steve Seagal. Put a hustle in here too. Austin would murder you in cold blood and take the deal. Yeah, I mean, we have a Democratic organization, obviously. You're all in for Kamala. I'm all in for Mamala, baby. You already know it. Woo, Brass Summer. Kaya, place. Little lady.
these numbers are huge. But yeah, so I don't know. Ask me again. I'm losing my train of thought.
Yeah, no. I mean, the only question was basically whether you were in control of the editorial, and it sounds like you were. So,
I mean, the Culture War show is a conversation show on various topics. The subject matter of the show editorially is there's no thought into it. We had been talking about hosting a show on religious debate and simulation theory and AI. So I talked to my booking agent and said, can we find a guy who talks about AI and simulation and then do a 2-hour conversation? That's the gist of it. That's how the show was produced. The first episode that actually appeared on Tenet was about skateboarding. Quite literally, we had a professional skateboard filmer, an amateur and a professional skateboarder, and we talked about skateboarding because I'm a skateboarder, that's what we do. So, I mean, it's kind of crazy to hear that they're saying.
I was on the deprogram.
Well, you got your jewelry. I got my tiny ones. I'm having penis envy right now.
I gotta show up for the boys. You know,
explain. Naturalize it more than even countries that never even.
I was on the episode of Deprogram, by the way. I can't believe the podcast would invite an Albanian guest. Truly a betrayal. Also, I don't know what Hasan saw in the museum exactly, but it's a pretty famous bit of knowledge that Stalinists were also considered enemies of the state. Galyatak being the infamous prison. Yeah, I saw that. You're kind of right. Even Stalin looks sort of Turkish, and loads of Turkish dads and kids I grew up with sort of look like Stalin when they hit 60. Lol. I love when you guys do race science with Hasan. I'm Albanian and offended. In the preview, tanks were pants because you don't support a third party. What tanky is like? What is the term tanky? If they have any investment whatsoever in the American electoral process. The term is just gone. Okay, what? That's awesome.
the media's jumped the gun completely on what the story is. The DOJ.
As a tanky, I believe that Americans have to vote third party. I'm a tanky and I support the Greens. What the? This podcast is valued at $100 million. Alex Cooper signed a $100 million deal with SiriusXM for a Call Her Daddy podcast and network of shows. Another former Spotify exclusive deal leaving their deal for a new partner. Yeah, I don't get it. I just, I think this is a bubble, man. I legit think this is a bubble. Straight up. Tankies for Kamala. Tankies for Jill Stein. Tim Pool had a gay guy on his podcast. Oh my God. He looks pretty good though, right there. I mean, his body looks pretty good. Don't know what happened to, his head remained the same, I guess.
The indictment literally says that commentators were deceived, that there was a rather sophisticated plan to manipulate.
Call her dad walked so Talk to Her could run. I will do something that is life-changing for all of you in broad daylight, on public, in real time, on this live stream. Do you understand? If you talk to me about the Hawk to a girl, oh my God, actually, we got to show that. I saw this and I think a piece of my soul died. Now we're going to look at it. What is it? Talk to a? The Hawk to a girl has a podcast. Where is it? Okay, everything I'm seeing on Hawk to a girl right now is just like insane. Before her father had an Israeli government scrubber past social media for Chan and Reddit, it was able to recover all of Hawk to a girls as being dressed to impress, up in Israeli soldiers' gear, and had a nose job on a PR team, how to be a Southern Belle. These people are truly unhinged, dude. Everyone is so insane. Wait till y'all find out she low-key a former Israeli soldier cosplaying a Southern Belle after her billionaire dad hired a PR firm to scrub her past of the internet, particularly her old TikTok where she ain't even speak English, let alone had a fake Southern Belle accent. What is going on Twitter, man? Twitter is so insane. I couldn't even get through making fun of this coworker ass story that is like turned into a goddamn meme that turned into a goddamn podcast before I saw some unhinged dude. Like,
y'all really thought I was done? I'm just getting started, baby. I'm Haley Welch. A little while ago, my life took a complete left turn and it changed forever. And along the
like, what is happening? Like, this person literally was like, I would love to give you a blowjob on a TikTok. And now they have a podcast. Like, what is going on? Look, I'm a sex positive person. Okay. I'm a sex positive person. But what is going on, dude? Yeah, that's right. I'd like to cock, please. And then all of a sudden they're like, we can't get enough of this girl. And I swear to God, I have literally not seen a single piece of original content made around this person. And I think she did like every podcast. And I think she just like appeals. It's like a dog whistle. And I don't mean that in like ooh, she's being racist type way. Like, I mean, literally, right? Like, it's a frequency that she's able to captivate that just my brain cannot understand. Like the things she says, the fact that she's like a notable figure at all, and like all of the surrounding memes, it has not been able to penetrate my consciousness. And I'm pretty tapped in online. Like, I am nonstop online. I'm extremely online. And honestly, I genuinely cannot understand what the appeal is. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I really don't understand it. I think this actually unironically appeals to like I hate to say this, but, and I'm not saying this with like even a shred of elitism here, but like, I think she just like appeals to a genuinely stupid person. Like, I don't know. I think when people go, oh, Hawk Tua, that's great, spit on that thing, like, you're kind of a dumb guy. I'm sorry. Like, I legitimately don't, like, yeah, it's coworker humor to the max. Like, I'm sorry. No disrespect to any of you guys, but like, if you're into this sort of thing, I don't like yucking anybody's yum, but I will think less of you, and I can't help myself. Okay. I don't want to, but I will legitimately view you very differently. If someone in my orbit was like, man, Ed Hawk to a girl, like, oh, she's so funny. Like, I love her humor. I'd be like, I have to re-examine our relationship. Okay?